Iron Lady Records, sweet sound. I come to tell mama, ya no see, no way I can meet that. Mekane na wuka yenda babo na wone don yam na wone don yam na wone don yam mekane na wuka wo mama go kwa na wone don yam wono wa ma ba no ko makale ke pia para kada wa boya ka gbe wa na wone don yam para ka ka so wa na wone don yam wala mo se yo Ekwara mosi talo gwe baba ne Ekwara mosi akwendo gwe baba mama Mekane na une don yam Na une don yam Na une don yam Meka yene yaka yeka kabwe baba we ni ba we bono gwe baba Na ye bebe don ye dole Hala de la bonga kwete pe gwe baba Kasi kwen wodie kama Na une don yam Nika kwa kwen woya dongo be Na une don yam Kwa kata kwen si ya wongo be mama Na une don tabone Na une don yam E wala masanyo Zole ta wa kwa kapa babo Yego pepe yego dole pora dia Da kuzora yego mababo Baby zole yego pepe woma I don't come out to hear you ne me kana I don't come out woman I do my mother, you. Matore, Kibo come to Bomia. I want to know you. Kibo Yaya was to walk my I don't come out with my young. And Jedu, Tanya, well, on a road with my pay, but time was going to come my dole. Cabo Jedu, there's no game, mechanic. And mechanic, no Kaya. Ewa mosia yo Adonga mawo mawera mosia yo mekane Ere tuma mano kama kade kopia Primo nene senyo Dale ya kanisa kwa woda me woda wa ogoda Gwe badi epo ko mai pie kan bakore nse ka we kwa mai Kate to mi kwa kapa pabo kama Na una donyi yama Adonga mawo mai yemune Mata si kwa kapa pabo Si ponya si kwa kapa pabo neo Na una donyi ya Kiso kwe kwa kapa pabo maye Na una donyi ya Another P Na una donyi ya Ola yomi kwa kapa pabo neo Wonge Sami te sami kwa kapa pabo kama Na una donyi ya Ese maremo But when woman, Esther said, when woman, Sakamunti, when woman, I lead to Pimitano Catulia car time. Patricia, but when woman, Mamma, I get the iron lady. It's so you're still to the Presela mame kwa kapa pabone Kema fora kwa kapa pabo kama Afrike buye godolo bosomu Zoza kwa kapa pabone Na une don yama Na une don yama Na siya waye kokolo mea Na une don yama Adonka ma wuma yemune Na une don yama On sore droite de web Na una donyi ya Jeru otane wewe parokwe O mekane na una donyi ya Na una donyi ya Gibo nyawa ya bosu wa kwamba mo Na una donyi ya não cagavé não é yensa ya que o dono ma wa go kwa wo po não é ka atoze wa ka dono wo to kwa ku não me ka ne não ga yenda bonde na una donyi am luwet na we me ka yene ya ka gbe wo na una donyi am ekwara mwase yo kwai ka to kwen podie kama bende duwe kama kwen tendera kaba papa na una donyi am nsore duwa tebe mebo na una donyi am ime luweta we men utaka wa iyo say na una donyi am não ga uma go kwa na una donyi am adon kama te ye mure na una donyi am na una donyi am kawe kwa magobie agongo si kwa nyase isotu teni kokbo na una donyi am kasare kasutu na una donyi am
Iron Lady Records, sweet sound.
I completar mama. Ya no se não vai a que meta. Me gane não caindo babo. Não donyi am. Não donyi am. Não donyi am. Me gane não cago mama bobo. Não donyi am. Puno mama banu kama kale kupia. Para mama boya kapia wa. Não donyi am. Para kakaswa. Não.
Well, folks, we want to say good evening and welcome to today's edition of the RiverSde Talk. It is the Twa River platform. We are here again with another edition. I want to welcome you all here tonight. The time is 5:09. It is 9:09 Liberian time. I want to say welcome to all of you here this evening. We have a couple of things to cover here tonight. And before then, let's listen to Noam. While we prepare our news, let's listen to some music from our home country.
It's Cheese Workers. It's getting beat.
Ya bono la do ya ogre go me garu ku la wa le baza ah so ke we dawa so ke we che give me way is a body give me you can love begin way yes you this one here the biggest so ke we dawa so ke we na wakaya mwamwi kapame wakame sonsio aho sogaiwe kabale kabawi kabali ne bwa mana tore kabali ne bwa mamo dio kelo ngo bwe da tolwa arewe arokorawe na redo ma yekele kanuku alo yo adame ama ya de me kwero sogaiwe dawa sogaiwe oh ni wa to wa sele manta bo anto yebo konye sige si ai
All right, folks, we are back again with another edition. And on this note, I would like to say welcome to you all on the platform here tonight. It is the Trois River platform. I want to say welcome to all of you. We have a couple of news to go through here. This one says, jury tampering probe deepened in towards acquitted after bombshell romance allegation. So the investigation into alleged jury tampering in the acquittal of former Finance and Development Planning Minister Samuel Tuet has taken a dramatic turn in which sworn testimony now allege an extramarital relationship between a jury full lady and a hair prosecutor in the case. The probe, already one of Liberia's most politically sensitive judicial inquiries this year, was triggered after the three jurors filed complaints challenging the impartiality of the panel that declared Tuet of corruption charges earlier this year. Tuet trial and acquittal has been closely watched nationwide, given his prominence in the former Congress of Democratic Change administration. According to sources close to the investigation, who requested anonymity due to the matter sensitivity, a female juror testified that the full lady openly told fellow panelists that Solicitor General Councillor Augustine Fayad was her boyfriend. The witness further alleged that the full lady repeatedly praised Fayad during sequestration, telling juror the man can dress well and is handsome. The testimony went beyond personal allegations. Several jurors told investigators that Foley claimed she and her son has been harmonized by the Congress of Democratic Change while she worked at Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, a Liberia colloquialism after use of described political intimidation or coercion. Tension inside the jury room reportedly ran high. Another juror who questions the deliberation was accused by the colleague of anti-CDC bias, with some alleging the party was responsible for her father-in-law's death. The same juror has reportedly expressed admiration for the late Monserrate County lawmaker Solomon George, a polarizing CDC figure. So, as we all know, there is the case involving former Finance Minister Samuel Tuet, and that of the saga involving other employee at the time. And we all knew this was in May that Tuet was acquitted. In other words, he was not found guilty. And then the other folks were found guilty. And there was another bombshell allegation where they said Tuet and Arthur Johnson, Councillor Arthur Johnson, tampered with the juror. Now another one is saying the trial has backfired again. Another allegation of bombshell romance has entered into the case. So the case is getting complicated, very, very complicated. And we hope that at the end of the day, we will get to the actual story. But it's getting so much complicated. We continue to go, and on the other hand here, Bone County Senator may donate machine, ferry machine. Is that right? Yeah, Bone County Senator may donate the Coop machine ferry management team. So I guess what this is saying is that Bone County Senator Johnny Bay has donated one brand new Coop power machine to the management team of the St. Paul River Ferry Firma District. So Senator Senator Bay has donated machine towards the ferry in the district. It's called the Firma District. That is on the St. Paul River. He donated a machine for the ferry. And on the other hand, too, still in Bone County, aggrieved workers of Bone County Phoebe are protesting again. So the nurses at Phoebe Hospital are protesting again. And that is in Bone County. And then with that again, Senator Koga also said last night, I don't know where the people get that idea from. They kept saying that the vice president made me. Can a man make another man? It is an insult to my personality for anyone to say the vice president made me. All of you can remember that in 2023, I campaigned for Unity Party under the ring and scorching sun. Sorry. At that time, I was not ungrateful. So, there is a lot of things going on. And away from home, when it comes to sport, Egypt is going home. And Lionel Messi is still in the race. Egypt is going home. And again, there was an allegation that Cigar, a security firm in Liberia, was, part of is involved into the $19 million drugs and cigar boss, Lofa County Senator Cyrus Momo, quote unquote rubbish, the report linking cigar to the $19 million drugs investigation. So a lot of things happening in Liberia, which requires, extensive investigation. And as it stands, so many things are happening on a daily basis. We will continue to talk about this issue of the $19 million drugs, right? And as we reported yesterday, Paul King was apprehended and taken to court. Today, he briefly appeared again in court, not too long. But another side of this story is that the people that were previously named as people of interest, those folks are nowhere to be found. All right? You remember when the LDA boss and other security apparatus told us that including Ministry of Justice, they said they only have people of interest. At the time, those guys were still roaming around Liberia. But as it stands now, where they are now indicted, they are nowhere to be found. That is the issue we face. And the last time I was on this show and I said, it's true, I said, let's give chance to the security apparatus to, go ahead with the investigation. But the way in which the case is going, and everything we do, we got to build trust. Trust is very important in whatever we do. If we are not building that trust, it becomes an issue. All right. We're not talking about Paul King, manager of GLS company. One more about the other people who were all involved into this saga. How do we get them? At the time, those guys were still there, but now we can't find them. And listen, I always say when it comes to this drug issue, it is a connected thing that no one single person can do. No, it's not a single individual can do that. It is a collective effort. And I think it is an insult or grudge respect to the people of Liberia if those guys actually are not apprehended. You know, this case, it has drawn the attention internationally. Internationally, this case has, series of issues. Even it will build Liberia image, and it will break Liberia image, the way in which we will handle this situation. And within the same issue, Amara Quenen and that of Edwin Melvin Snow issued a statement requesting an independent probe, independent investigation into the $19 million drug saga in Liberia. I think the collective effort of every Liberian, what we are saying is that issue is not something to take it lightly. It requires us, addressing those issues with serious attention. Because if we can't do it, it creates an issue. So it is actually a serious problem that we actually need a clear, impartial investigation. And people should be prosecuted for that. There should not be another case. Right now, there's another drug law that was in prison in Kakata. Since 2024, that individual has been out of prison. How did this so if we're doing those things, it shows that we are just recycling those perpetrators back into the society. Yeah, at the end of the day, we will still get that same result because what we ought to do, we're not doing it. We're not. How will you jail somebody? How will somebody be convicted and put into prison? And the person is out of prison roaming around. Nobody knows what about, but he's not in prison since 2024, according to prison record. So where is this individual? These are things that will show to people that we are not serious at all when it comes to the fight of drugs. And I always say this. You might say this is not, I have nobody, one way or other, I'm not being affected. That is not true. One way or the other, you are being affected. Even if it's not directly, but you probably might have known somebody who is being, who is into this habit. Listen, when people get addicted to these drugs, it's quite frustrating that in our country, the issue of mental health, it is not taken serious in our country because we don't have those institutions that somebody can go there to seek, help. we stigmatize those issues and quote unquote say those people are crazy. If somebody have a mental issue, say this person is crazy. But here there are mentally challenged people who goes to hospital too, like the way you will go to say, I get headache, I get malaria. People goes to those hospitals to seek treatment, but we don't have it. But you know, those mental issue comes with constant use of drugs. The great America that I said here, if you go to other places, you go to downtown, especially the state that I'm in, you go to downtown, there are areas that you see people on the street, no house. They sleep on the street, on a bridge. You see people who are addicted to drugs. Some comes to hospital for some stay and gets treatment, become okay, go back home, and then they will come back again. But this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed with urgency to build Liberia image. We have not had this kind of case before, where over $19 million worth of goods. That is not small thing. We are just talking about $19 million. The first consignment I went through, we don't know how much it was, because one went through first. It was this one that somebody taped another person and then the secret leak out. So this is not a matter to play with. And this is not an issue to just overlook, because it is a serious issue that requires urgency and urgent discussion. And I think we should go ahead to address those issues instead of playing politics with it. Even if it is government official, and I applaud President Blackeye for taking some measures. When names were called, suspended them, suspend the person, go through the case. If you are found not guilty, you resume back your job. That's how responsible government behave. And I applaud his leadership for taking some action. But that action is not enough yet, because we want to see a persecution to say, yes, those people have been persecuted. And let's get to the bottom of how this thing. So I don't know. Somebody was telling me it appears that there's a manufacturer now in Liberia. Those products have been manufactured in Liberia. And I believe it. Because $19 million worth of goods to be packaged in Liberia and transported out. How did this drugs get into the country? That's the question we should be asking. Because it didn't happen overnight. That when a person said it appears, so myself, I kind of like buy into that idea that it appears that there is a manufacturer, or they are manufacturing it now in Liberia. Because those guys, like I said, those drug syndicate, the cartels, those cartels, they are very much smart and calculative people, well interconnected, because that is a very fast money. And this morning I was watching a documentary where an individual was traveling. He had some drugs, some of those sports slippers. There was a sports slipper he had on. He caught it, the inner part that looked at sponge. He took it out and planted some drugs in there, and then sealed it all with glue. And then on him, he had a double boxer, and then did some toilet and put it to his towel. And they arrested him. They were taking out those things. So those folks are very much creative and calculative. It's not just what if you have been around or if you are seeing how those people operate, whenever you hear about it, your mind will be triggered that this issue, it requires serious attention, not just for pleasure, but very serious one at that rate. So this whole thing here, we are calling upon the Liberia government to, speed up and build the trust that the Liberian people, because I don't know, let's maintain our trust that the Liberians have entrusted into you guys, the security apparatus. Let's maintain that trust and let's be, very fair and impartial when dealing with those issues. We're not getting any update. Now those guys are on a roll. How do we get them? Do we know their whereabouts? We have a very long gap in between there. Now they have left Liberia. We don't know where they are. How do we get them? Are you guys going to use Interpol? It is a serious issue, man. It is, drugs is a war on human race that I think we should, we should address it with urgency. That I think we should address it with urgency. Because it is becoming an issue that we are to really discuss amongst Liberians. All right, let's leave that. We will continue to talk about it because we want to see the good thing, the real thing done in Liberia. So we'll continue to talk about it every single day until something happens positively. So on the 8th of May 2026, District Number 3 lawmaker, Nimakande District Number 3 lawmaker Honorable Ige submitted a proposal for the establishment of a vocational training institute in Campley. That, proposal make a very big headlines across various news in Liberia. And as of today, that proposal is nearing consideration, which is a plus. Now, if we look at our educational sector in NIMBA, right, the entire belt that consists of the Best Statutory District heading towards Muyao, there is no single tertiary education around that belt. There is no, I stand to be corrected, around a Muyao belt. If there is any vocational institution around there, I stand to be corrected. But when it comes to the belly belt, there is no vocational institution in that area. So with this, it is indeed worth commendation from, if this is finalized and come to fruition in District Number 3, it will be a great help to people around that surrounding. We're talking about District 3, District 4, and part of District Number 5, even including the Zoga belt. Including the Zoga belt. because this is actually a developmental news. And let me say congratulations to him for taking this step. And I always say, the mentality we have that lawmaker got to do everything for us. For me, if I am a lawmaker, these are things that I will pay more attention to. Because if I impact knowledge, that person too will be able to impart knowledge onto another person. And this kind of for initiative is worth, celebration, especially since those in the history of those districts, there have been no other institutions of such kind. So this is another developmental news that is actually a good news. We're talking about if those of you that don't have the picture, right? When we say district number 3, the way district number 3 is stationed, district number 3 came all the way into Yemen, where you have Yekepa Force in district number 3. How far is it from Sanekore to Yekepa? The only towns that are not part of district number 3, you have Baba, Sekimpa, Boa. Those areas are not part of district number 3. But from Yekepa towards the what you call it, the borderline, coming all the way towards the Zor in and going all the way to Guatu, South District number 3. So that whole place. In fact, Kample that is called Kample City, no one single vocational institution in our area. And now, if this comes to pass, it will be a very good help to the citizens around there. Now, from district number 3, from Kample all the way to Bobley falls under district number 4. And Kample is considered, quote unquote, Kample is working towards being a city too. But there is no any institution around there that can offer vocational help to people. All of that is for Sanekole, Ganta, Saklepie, Tapeta, there where you can find some tertiary institutions for people to learn. So this is a very developmental, news, and we appreciate the honorable for submitting this kind of a bill. This is what we expect from you guys. Think about your citizens. Let's impart knowledge into the life of our people. Or can this be a politics? No. And I think if we will always want for a lawmaker to come to us and pull and give us maybe envelope, or maybe when we have issue, we run to them. And I always say, if I'm a lawmaker, I wouldn't want for somebody to depend on me. I want for somebody to be independent. And how do people become independent? Empowering them. This is another empowerment. Empowerment. If this institution is built and fully functional, where you have various, career being taught, we're talking about carpentry, plumbing, electricity, tie and dyeing, catering. These are things that people make money out of. Liberia, every day people having party, people having wedding, all of that. If this institution is built and those areas are there where people go and learn, you get certificate into it, you go and make life. Occasion they call you come and cater for our occasion. Daily bread coming in right there. This is how you empower people. You learn your little trade, carpentry. You open your wood shop. You building tables. You be creative about it. Building tables. Putting it on the market. You're making living out of it. All right? Make sure building house. You're making money. These are things that are making money now. That's how you empower people. If people go to those institutions and learn, you know what's going to happen? You're not going to wait on one lawmaker to come and give you maybe $2,000, and you will not see them again until maybe another time comes before the person comes around to be friendly with you again. But if you go and learn your own trade, nobody will play for you now because you boss me on your own already, and nobody going to play for you. So this is a very welcoming news, and I think all of us should embrace it and do better with it, because it will help. It will help us a lot. So on last night I said something here. On Saturday we'll be doing career day. We'll be talking on career, and we have Dr. Chris Lam as our guest on Saturday, and he will be here from 8 p.m. Liberia time up to 9. We will have those conversations. And the reason is we want to create awareness. People want to go to school. And I'm not the kind of person that will come and tell you, say, education is not good. Education is 100% good. Looking at our country now, we have a lot of bachelor's, associates. People went to school, got a degree, no job. The reason you see people floating around with degrees, no job, is people did not have the opportunity to sit down and think twice as to what can I do quickly to get money after college. And at the end of the day, you realize that we have a lot of people who went to school and they accounting, business administration, and you need it. These are all fine careers. But how many jobs do we have in a country for those professions? How many? Oh, but that go do nursing. That go do our late nursing. Fine, another very fine profession. But are you actually doing it with your willing man, or somebody coerces you to go and do it? And when you are in there, you stop. So that's why I thought it was to bring on this discussion, so that our brothers and sisters who have not yet made those decisions, or even those that are thinking to go to college or university, to even come on and listen. Myself here, I have the intention. I started doing nursing in Liberia at Nima University. I went as far as in a senior class. I was left with I think 2 or 3 courses to do just to complete and get my nursing degree. I think one of the courses was with Dr. Colin Bois. Was one of my. He was doing a health assessment. I was doing health assessment with him, and Clinton Zianto, Fariko Proman, other people. But I came to this country, and I landed in a very different environment. And when I came here, what I realized is that you see that people build careers, right? You make careers out of something. But I came, oh man, I want to go get my nursing degree. I want to go get my nursing degree. Very fine. I enrolled into school, went through the process. But then, another LRBO, we got waiting lists. Every enrollment time, they take about 50 persons to enroll. There where the torso is. I was on a wait list for about a year. And then I said, that's waste of time. The 1 year that I'm going, if I have gone to do different things, then by this time I'm going a little bit farther. So on that wait list, I left. I went, I got a degree in health science. I'm giving my story so that people will understand that, you know, it's good to go and get a whatever degree. My associate, bachelor, master, PhD is good. But if you are not financially strong, you don't have the financial capability, it becomes an issue. And that's why some of us try for our brothers and sisters to understand that you can make your decision. Not parents, not friends can make the decision for you, because it is you that are going to be seated in that chair. You are going to be seated in that chair to be doing what you do. It's not nobody. You want to be going every single day on the campus with your book bag to sit down and listen and go home and learn and do research. You, not nobody. Your parent will say, go do nursing, go do geology, go do accounting, this and that. All friends will engineer you. But those friends are not the one that want to study. So if you think that you can't make it, don't force it. There's always room for you to switch. So when I got degree in health science, I went again. I got another degree in health information management. Now, I remember one time I think I gotta go back to NCC, Nema University. I gotta go spend at least if it is semester and a half. I gotta go there and get my degree from them. I was saying it, joking at it last time. But what I'm driving at here is that the education here is good. We go to school here, get our degrees and this and that. But the people that are making the money are the people that invested into careers outside of being, you know, bachelor, master, PhD holders. One of my brothers have PhD. He's looking for a job like crazy. And this one Sunday, I was part of an honoring ceremony here in my state, a church, one of Liberia, a Liberian church here decided to honor the 2026 graduate, and I was part of it. Proud to see Liberians who have doctorate degrees. We had 3 Nigerians who have doctorate degree, and then one woman from Lofa who was also a doctorate degree holder, were the one lecturer. And they make some points that, you know, I was thinking about it all through. But They all share similar thing. And what is share was? Number one, race come into play. Your look. People will look at you, professor will look at you and say, I don't think this is good for you. Go look for different things. Just because the way you speak. And somebody will look at the job that you overqualify for. They will look at it, they will look at you for learning and say, we're sorry, man, because you are not one of them. And it happened to me in recent time. I applied for a good paying job. Went through everything. Waiting for HR to say, hey, this is your start date. The only call I received from HR was, we're sorry, we'll go with a different person. That is their choice. But does somebody have built their own career? Maybe when you did plumbing, maybe you did electrical work, or let's say you did RiverSde. You get your own little company. Because here what I do is that once you go and get your certificate, once you get your certificate, you open up your own business. You become a contractor. At this point, nobody, you are the boss. No one is your boss. You contract with people. When builders, people building, they give you contract. You do your portion, you go. But for those of us that didn't take that path and went ahead to get degrees and this and that, now if we apply for a job, we're waiting at the mindset of who be the hiring manager and HR to decide on your fit, especially with our hard name. Looking at my name, they are glorious and fire. Who the other person here? And then you have somebody that say Nico Smith, or this and that. I say, well, yeah, that name sounds good, man. That name sounds good. So what I'm driving at here is that I came up with this idea that we will have a discussion on careers so that people can have the notion, the understanding, going to college and let me go spend maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 months and get certificate into this, or maybe 1 year and get certificate into this and find a job and make money. Right now, if somebody, things that plumbing, right? We overlook it in like, bro, we put on for ticket to be a daddy job. But these are jobs that have the money. RiverSde, right now, I'm still looking for somebody to put current in my house in Complex. I still have not found an electrician in Complex. So we will be talking on that, and it's good that the honorable is making that effort. Excuse me, so we can have some vocational institution in Complex. I want to write that or Franklin them and welcome to the show. You muted.
Yeah, okay. It's good to. Yeah, I'm all right. It's good to be. So it's good to be back and with the discussions we are having. I think we need most of these discussions to be able to tell the younger population what they should do and how they should do it, that we'll have a better society, that will be able to know whatsoever we are doing, that the poverty rate will drop, and we will not only depend on one thing that all of us will just be living on handout. So that is a good topic, and we will get into it tonight and see how best we can encourage other people to either change or to adapt to what they are doing now.
Yeah, and Hopefully on Saturday, Dr. Chris Lang, who have agreed to be the guest that day, will be the one to, be with us on Saturday at 8 p.m. Instead of 9, it will be 8 p.m. So we'll be starting that discussion on Saturday. And you and I didn't have the opportunity to, have some guardians in college. Quote unquote, people are advisor in Liberia. You only get to see them once. And I think the reason advisors exist is to guide you all through your process, no matter what. But that is not the case in Liberia. They exist, but not that many that they will be able to guide over 1,000 of students in a process. And each department have her own, from what I said, each department have about 2-3 advisors that will meet with students. That is their job. You meet with students, help them cross the line. And our community colleges that are here, they offer, careers other than going to get maybe associate degrees. They offer you career services. You go, you get diploma in what you want to do that will put you right on the job. And that's what, we will be diving into that on Saturday, because I know when I went to Nema Community College at the time, I can't remember ever how many advisors. I planned my own course. And those courses were, something that a friend of mine who have already gone there and registered, give me copy of his. In fact, the entire nursing student have one standard, how you call it, schedule to go back. If you were doing nursing at the time, we all have one standard schedule to go back. On this class, you have about something like anatomy and physiology. 2 persons were teaching them. Theophilus Yonkoi and Nyankula. And then nutrition was about 1 person, Moscow War. So you realize that students will cluster into those sections. 1 person teaching about over 50 students. And if you fortunate enough to be at the front, fine. If not, you go at the back, forget it, man. It's a different story. So these are things that we thought of, talking about to enlighten the minds of the younger generation, so that you will make a better decision. Listen, the goal is not to stop you from going to college and get a degree. If you want to go to college, fine. Nobody's stopping you. We want people to learn. But going to college and you are not actually in the position of going to do what actually you want to do. Maybe somebody is influencing you. Those decisions got to be your own decision, not somebody else is telling you, my man, go do that thing, man. My man, go do that 1 year. Because if you depend on somebody, somebody influence you to go and do something, and at the end of the day, you come out, let's say you made a day accounting, business management. How many businesses in Liberia are you? Who the business owner will look at a Liberian man and say, my man can't say that I manage my business? How many businesses in Liberia in the first place? That Lebanese man will look at you and tell you, say, can't say that I manage my business? You will be the store ball. Why you there, you educated, you are the store ball. So these are things that we try not for people to. It's not everything that we all gotta be putting on white collar. You dress. Maybe you go sit down to the bank, or you dress up good, you eat tie, you go into government job. Not everybody. But there are ways, there are paths that if you choose, you can make life out of it for your own self. Let's hear you, Frank.
Yeah, okay. Education in our country is still a bit behind, even though stakeholders are trying to get so whatsoever we want to get it done. However, people still find it difficult. As you were saying about planning courses, even in a graduate school in Liberia, it becomes more difficult where we don't have more students in class. And we have some courses, they call them alternative courses, that you will see that maybe 4 5 students will go and plan this course, or 17 10 students will plan the course.
Look at
By the
that.
time you look, by the time you look, once the class time does not suit most of the students, you go look, only you alone in class now. And it becomes disadvantageous to you who will leave in that class because the instructor might not want to put in time to teach the course again.
Yeah.
And you who were waiting to go through the course, and by the time you go low, it go against you. The other people have gone to department or some places and drop the course. You go low now, only you alone in that area. So it has become challenge for some people, and I have experienced it in person, even like 2 semesters. So you would think that the course almost everybody doing it. Saying we all playing, let me wait. But you waiting for classes to start or for things to happen. You go low, all of them have dropped the courses and they are going to different areas and taking a different course. So you now will become the middle, and the instructor now will teach your course and you become victimized in the process. I think there should be certain level of restriction on those planning that are done by the department and by the students. If you know that you will not do this course or you will not offer it this semester, just be strict to the point and don't allow students to go and plan that particular area and say, I'm hoping to go to this session or to go to this course. And by the time you go to drop everybody from the session again, maybe only one person who is not aware of it, just waiting. So it becomes serious problem for people. These are things that we supposed to really work on, that people will not be affected, because if you look at the whole semester, maybe the instructor feel that maybe only 1 or 2 person in the session and he or she not putting in time to teach a course again, then it becomes added burden for that particular student. Because the following semester you will still plan the course and you will still do this course. So these are things that we have been working on and they have been happening. And to the issue of vocational education in our country, Liberia is still trying to come out. And let's see the proposals that our lawmakers are making. I think Tapeta is now like 95% operation, or they have gone 100% to operate. And we will always say that having these vocational schools, they are not bad, but we need to also have professionals that will teach in these vocational schools. If we just have them for the sake of having them, then it means that we will still be adding the same problem we want to solve, we will still be adding it up. Because if you have a vocational school in Campley and Tua River and some part of Zoge, because when we were in Kanha, we used to have students from even Bang and Bedagle and Tenikanha. Even Campley in like Canada, you could see people from Bedagle from all the way Biole, other places at Teni. So if you have a unique vocational school in Campley, means that you will be having people from other regions around here, around there. I mean, the Zor Belt, as far as Sanikole area, some part of Sanikole, even because we used to have people from both Bay coming Campley to go to school. So if you have it and those people are coming and you don't have the credentialed people to teach, it becomes an issue. And also, having the people with a credential is not bad, but look at also the package for them, the compensation allowances. Take for example, Franklin is traveling to go to school in Monrovia or out of Liberia, and you want to take Franklin you carry Compton and just feel that Franklin is from Compton, I mean you can just go hanging there. You know, people feel that getting job in Liberia is difficult. So they just take you and dash you anywhere and say go there and go make ends meet. So at the end result, you'll see that these people will not teach what they're supposed to teach. And again, they will just be living on the expense of the students. So if you as a professor or a TVET instructor, if you are just depending on students to survive, then your livelihood now becomes a serious problem. And even while you are there for the merit, the main thing you're supposed to do, you will not do it. I give credit to our late brother Lampie Kabia. Lampie Kabia, when he was coming up, he was instantly married and striving to succeed in life. He applied to your own school you graduated from Canada to be TA to someone there before the government can employ him or do something. He felt that maybe the school administrators will find something for him while he is teaching. For the school administrators only call him office and told him, man, there is nothing here. But for your transportation and other things, your monthly allowance for you to get it, you will get it from the students. So the brother said, but how? You see, how will I get my transportation allowance and other things from students? So it means that he was going to just create artificial assignments, artificial quizzes, artificial exams to just get something from students to say, when you come in, put $20 for that inside. And Lampie rejected that job. He said, no, I can't do that. I cannot oppress the students that are already suffering only to just bring them to school or to just give the exam for them to just put $50 or $100 inside just for me to pay my way. And the brother left that job. He went and God bless him, he was able to graduate from the university that he was in. So if we have people of such, our educational system will be better. If he had taken our job as it was, then it means that he was going to teach nothing. And my brother left and he was only in the other private schools, mission schools, teaching. They were giving them small things, paying his way, going to school, coming back. So these are some of the legacies we want to leave behind. We need to have people that will be the mind to teach our students the rightful material instead of just giving whatsoever to people and also living. And in Liberia, one thing that I want to say, even though I have not come from all of the graduate programs in our country, but I feel that I know of the people are doing well in terms of teaching the materials and evaluating properly. I have not seen a teacher in a graduate program to say, bring this to me before I give you a grade. Never. Why they should have their license, maybe some of them don't give you early feedback and other things. If you do your work what you deserve, you get it. Because these are top brass are already working. Many of them get their own cars, they come to school to teach. By the time they move from there, you don't see them again. So I think Liberia should be given some level of credibility and credit because they are trying.
All right. You know, you have experienced that. The issue of Canada, right? I was teaching at Canada Night School. And the night school was, though Canada is a government school, but the night session was, you know, it was the initiative of the registrar and that of a few instructors. So they told me, hey, we got space for science teacher at night. I think that was from, so they joined fourth, fifth graders together. And then the senior high section was different. So I was teaching science at the elementary and junior high. But then I spent a few months. They didn't have money to pay. So what they did was they said it was only registration that the people entitled to pay. And the registration, when they pay them money will go call it a shot, they come back and they give you story. So I did it for a few months. I realized I was not getting paid. I left it. But that's what we say. The education sector we have, it requires work. And if somebody is working at that, at the graduate level you're talking about already, people are working, coming just to come and teach and go. We applaud that. This is what we need. If our education sector can build a credible, legacy that people will look at and say, oh yeah, there's no bribing, there's no this and that. That is something that we gotta praise for people to be of that standard. Because once a my professor then sometimes said that that email we can communicate from. And I usually email them within 24 hours, they will respond to you. You go on campus after class, they finish. Nobody come and tell you, say, because they knew very well this is America. Something, even conversation is recorded. Nobody come in say, oh, you come in, bring me envelope. I'll put so and so thing in it. Knowing fully well, if you do that, you jeopardize your lesson and things. So that's why we are saying our education needs to be worked on. And having career as a Viking, you can get some certification or do some, technical training. Afterward, you go back to college and go get a degree. There is no late time for getting college education. If you have the financial backing, fine. But if you don't, and my only goal here is that I don't want people go to college and be wandering around. Right? If you say you went to college, go there and do exactly what you went there to do. Then going to college and being wandering around. So it is quite, frustrating that somebody will have the desire of going to college and then you're just there, 4 years program, you spend 6, 7, 8 years just to get one bachelor. Tell me, when will you get out of that, go find a job, and make ends meet for yourself when you are already clocking going towards 50? So if you can build a career, get some technical knowledge, you're working, you go to school. And we are hoping that in the long run, Liberia, we have like online classes where students will just go learn from home. It gives you more opportunity. I see that happening soon. It's just that we're still facing internet issue in Liberia, but if we do have a stable internet, I see that happening.
Yeah. So with the issue of online classes, I think Liberia have gone far into that. The few semesters that I have spent, I think I have like 3 or 4 instructors that they didn't even lay out on until the semester ended. So everything was done online, maybe field trip where we just have to go and meet, and time for exam. Maybe I think the other guy, like the guy who taught me natural resource 511, this guy, he taught throughout. The only time I lay out him was final exam. I could not even recognize him because he was teaching on Zoom. And it was not video, it was just audio. The man would teach it only once a while. He put a video and put it up. Then another guy was teaching restoration. And in the restoration that has to do with climate change and biodiversity, conservation biology and other things, he did everything online. Time for us to go for field trip was the time I met him. Even the following semester when he was doing systematics, he did everything online. It was only field trip where we went Grand Cape Mount. I met him there. So I think Liberia is making some advancements. Like even the undergrad, some of them going online. Only the undergraduate programs, the people strictly still doing it in class, but they are going online gradually. Some will do certain percent online, some will do certain percent in person. Then another one that is climate change mitigation adaptation that I'm doing currently. We're doing almost everything online. Only maybe like the exam that they mentioned to, we should go on campus and go do it there. So I think the people are trying. Even the thesis now they are doing, they have had a platform that they will use instead of you going to supervisor in person, submit your proposal or thesis. So what you do is just go on the platform, log in, a Google Drive, you have your Google Doc, then you just upload your document, and all those who have access to the platform will see your work and comment on, and you go sit again, correct, and upload again. So just the internet is our problem. However, when we are not on the high broadcasting system like the StreamYard that I'm talking about, we are on Google Meet, we are on Zoom, we are on other platforms. We have our correct internet, and we go through even 3 hours class. We go through it effectively, and nothing can hamper the internet until all classes are done. So that's how Liberia is improving in terms of internet and also using the online class or virtual classes to be able to get with speed with students. And most of the students, myself, when they started first, I was against online, felt that the teaching could not be effective, one, and also data problem, two. But then we try, all of us now, when we plan semester, we'll still be asking for online classes. But why can we do it? Because it gets too bad. We also started asking, advocating for online now. Anything you say about one online class, I want online class because it gave you time. You are at your place of work, you're going through your class or courses. Anywhere you are, you just get your lesson, you read, time for exam. Maybe you just report on campus, you do your assignment or something. For assignment, you do it, you submit it through emails. Or for final exam or midterms, when they will call you on campus in person, you come, you do your work, you go. Some of them will send their test to you. They give you certain time, you do your test, you send it back. After that time, you are late. So that's how Liberia is progressing systematically, you know. It's a gradual thing.
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's a good thing that we are getting up there, and having such, you know, capacity going on right now is a very good thing that I think is worth, you know, celebration. The only thing now we need, that we Liberia needs right now, is stable current and stable internet. That's it.
That's all.
I see a lot of classes. You know, for me, I love the online. I love the online, especially a working class person in this country. You work full time, go to school full time, and at first, when I started going to school here, I didn't like the online system because I felt that how would I learn? But as I progressed into it, I began to adapt to the system. And as it stands, I can only go on campus to meet. If there is requirement for me to go on campus, I go there and meet. If not, exam, it is been exam we use what we call either proctor or maybe lock screen. Your screen is locked. You can't even Google anything besides that test you're doing. It records you. So I kind of like have built, that interest into it, that even like I was doing certain tests, and then I ended up turning my face like this. They cut off my exam. They cut it off immediately and sent me notice. We realized that you weren't focusing on your test. I said, oh yes, I did my neck like this. They said, that's a sign of distraction. I said, I'm sorry. And they reopen it. And when they reopen it, time is going. You are time doing it. Time is going. So the time that I lost almost about, 5 to 8 minutes in between that, I'm not getting it. So I got to double up because each question is about 1.5 minutes or maybe 1.5 minutes. So it's good that Liberia is going up to that level, and we hope for the better that we will have stable internet, and somebody can even sit anywhere around the world and say I'm going to school in Liberia. And maybe in fact, I can't even call Nima University and I need to go complete my degree and get my nursing degree for them. But that my 1.5 semester that I left with them. I was sitting here and doing that ain't get my degree. You know what it means? So that's the good thing about it, brother. We actually need those systems in our society that students, will be able to do that. Fast tracking that will also be a great one. And
so I think the online program will also help to cut down criminal activities because for us here, you go to school at night, maybe you go by 5, you come from there by 10 p.m. and you don't have your own car, you got to transfer in keke or over motorbike or this, that. Or if even you are undergrad student, you got to go to school in the morning, maybe the difficulty of getting on campus, by the time you look, during our time from 2011 to 2017, it was extremely difficult to even get to Pakopin Junction at the time you get on bus, or when you're on final campus to even get on bus to come to Pakopin Junction, it was a piece of war where we used to have one woman we only call corporate. You gotta cooperate before you get on bus. If not, you will stand. But I think the decentralization and also using other platforms now, they are making those things better. So if you have all of these things in place, the criminal rate will reduce because students will not be coming from campuses in the night time, and students will not always be worried. They can even be any part of Liberia, like what you were saying. I think we have some of our colleagues were in Nigeria actively participating in lectures, actively doing the assignments, submitting them. If it were in the past, then it means you're not in school again. So the online platform will also help our people, and it will help the institution to rebrand because people will not consider the institution to be an old-fashioned. Because people got to get used, for me in particular, I started, like what we're having conversation tonight when we're coming from campus, I started using computer before I could get enrolled into the graduate program. But I'm not used to the usage of computer 100% or maybe even 80%. No. But again, the usage of AI is helping me to use computer effectively. What do that mean? PowerPoint presentation, I never used to even create slide before for myself. But later on, I started producing PowerPoint, and I had certain hectic assignment like last week. You never used to see me online. The first PowerPoint I did, my instructor condemned me on Google Meet. He could not see it. So I have to ask AI to instruct me how to do it. So I had to look for all the requirements. How should I do this work like this? So AI will instruct me, then I will go and do it. Then from there, I will flash my screen according to AI to confirm whether what I have done is correct. AI will tell me, no, you have done maybe 80% or 90% or 95%. By the time the instruction AI gave me, I go by it and I complete it. And when I do it, I said, this looks professional and you can present it on Google Meet. So I use that means to be able to create a professional slide. And when I present it online, and even though my always instructor will make comment, but my slides were praised. You see, they said, yeah, you did a unique slide. I said, okay, but then that means I'm getting somewhere. Yeah, so I think the usage of AI is important, but we shouldn't abuse it. I have to use AI as my guidance to teach me how to do PowerPoint, how to prepare my PowerPoint presentation. I have to use AI to direct me how to do my outlining, how to do my bullet point. All of these things, they are important and they are cutting down time. And the time we are in now is not time for people who don't know computer. That's another issue that we have to look at if we want to be a professional. If even you go to vocational school, you need to know all of these basics because they will help you put your work in shape and you will be able to do your work effectively. Because if, for example, you are about digester engineer, you need to have a proposal, you need to have a plan. And in having a plan, if you don't know how to do it, and you go to ask someone that will help you do your plan or to be able to market yourself out there, it will be difficult. You need to, all of these things, you need to do them and be able to get used to the system that people will say, yeah, that person knows the thing. Even now in the undergraduate program, when you are graduating, you should try your best to graduate with computer knowledge. It should not be like us who graduated without computer knowledge, even to work on smartphone. It was when we were in our senior year, like me, because I never had the money to buy a smartphone. It was in my senior year when I was about to graduate, when Professor Jerome Yinka gave us assignment. I had to go and buy a Lone Star Thank You 35 phone to be able to do that research project. And how I started using smartphone. So these things are very things that we have to work on to be smart, to have a smart working relationship with people or to be able to use the machine effectively.
Yeah, that's thank God we having those discussions here tonight. I have a serious issue when I first came to this country, the issue of computer. And I always give this story. I did English 101. And the lady was a white lady. She was very much calm. But I was with a group of kids that are used to computer. And all to me, when I registered for English 101, all I was saying was come and do survey of agreement, this and that we normally do. But that was quite different. There were the issue of passage, typing speed, and all of that came into play. So before the start, when we start, we had 10 minutes. She will read out a certain passage, and then as you're reading, you tapping. It goes for 10 minutes. So when she said it first, I said, what? 10 minutes? How do I go about doing this? So I didn't go deeper into what she was saying because you say she's saying it and you gotta type. I didn't go deeper into it, and the time was out. So everybody got to cut a sheet of paper and give it. And that's it, put it on something and print it, and then she will get it out. But then, when I did the first one, she went through the paper and said, okay. Afterwards, she said, Vi, come on. I went to her, she said, listen, I don't want you to be discouraged. I saw the frustration on your face. I don't want you to be discouraged. This is what I want you to do. When you come, don't use the computer for now. When I am reading those words, write with your hands, and then afterward, try to practice. Try to practice. when you read it with your hands, photocopy it here, and then later on your free time when you're not going to class, go in a lab and sit down and type. So I did it for 2-3 times. And she said, you see how you're picking up? Later on, I begin to type on computer when she's reading. So now we will have to read passage ourselves. As you're reading, you typing, you're reading, you typing. Just in less than 5 minutes, you'll see the children done. They submitting paper and just read and say, wow. So the issue of computer, we were not into those computer things before, and it becomes an issue. But as time went progress into time, I begin to adapt to computer. I don't even know my 6-year-old son. That man can sit down and type and write. I don't. Some of the things I can come home and just look on my phone and see those messages, the conversation he had with people, and people will be thinking that I'm the one doing it. I'm not. He has my phone. He types on my phone when I'm not around. So the issue of computer, and I get it. We don't have money. Our institution don't provide that, and it's quite frustrating. But it's another good experience, and that's why we are trying to enlighten the minds of our people that those things can become challenging. But if you put yourself into it, going to college is 100% good. You get a degree. But if you decide to go to college, do it with something that when you are out, it will not take you a long time to get a job to work. Because if you go and do mining and geology, only Arsenal Metal alone we have that doing construction. I call it mining engineering. How many person Arsenal Metal is hiring? I'm not saying don't go do mining and geology. We have a lot of people who graduate with mining and geology degree. How many of them working? I'm not saying don't do, I call it business management or accounting. How many persons with those degrees that are walking around in Monrovia from offices to offices, from businesses to businesses, just to be able to get a job? But if you can do a career or maybe a degree that will be faster to get work and do, it puts you out there real quick. We didn't have those knowledge. We didn't have a guidance to guide us in college and what we should do. And I always give the example of myself. I should have come to this country with a degree, but I didn't. Because I wasted whole 4 years. Went for associate degree. The associate was not available. Spent 4 years. 4 solid years. From 2012 up to 2015. 4 years. I'm now Nima University. Because the program was not accredited when we entered, we spent 1.5 years roaming around, doing courses that are not related to what we went to do. But we can't keep secret, or we can't keep quiet and allow other people dive into the same river that swallowed us before, wasting time around. So that's why on Saturday we'll be having those discussions about careers, so people can begin to make decisions as to where they want to, go career-wise. You did forestry. How many people really were open to forestry before? The only major thing we hear people saying: agriculture, education, nursing, geology, agriculture, education, nursing, geology, accounting, and business management. But myself, I never knew about it until I entered college. I named my university. Everybody, almost 100 plus of us that went to do nursing, other people now found a path. Like this lady today that is a ranger, Grace Zenzi. She was in my nursing class, but she later decided to go do forestry, natural resource management. How many people open to those careers? Nobody. Because our minds is focused on what friends or family people tells us to go and do. How many, in fact, we never even had LLB program in Liberia before. I think it is Council Tiawan Bungalow institution that have started doing it. I know Louis Adams School of Grant is only for LM, which is Master in Law. So it's good we provide those awareness to our people so that people can come on board. Yes, go ahead.
No, Louis, I thought Grant School of Law is LLB, not LM. When you come from there, you have to go out of Liberia before you get LLM. Yeah. So
Oh,
Louis, yeah, it's just a professional school. The only thing is they require you get a first degree before getting there, and the requirement that what people have been debating across the country or even around here that compared to other people who go to school in Rwanda and other areas, you even India people do law straight. Come from high
yeah.
school, you go straight to law school, but Liberia says no, you should get a first degree before you go to do law. But I don't know about that law school that was just open, but I'm hearing from people that you come from high school, you go there directly. But I don't
Yeah,
have,
that is it with the one Council Bungalows open. And
yeah,
I think that's how it should be. You see, why making my friend brother Friske around here? He's a lawyer. He did criminology. The man went to India. He went straight into the law program. And honestly, I thought Louis other Grant School of Law was LLM. I never thought it was LMB.
the only advantage that people have here at the law school is they craft it in a way that when you come from out of Liberia with LLB, it will make it difficult for you to practice law in Liberia. Because it says first of all you should learn law in Liberia. You should be taught law in Liberia at the first level. But if you get a bachelor in law in Liberia and you go and get a master or PhD, you can practice law in Liberia. But if even you bring PhD from different country and you have not done a law course in Liberia, you cannot be allowed to write bar exam. I stand to be corrected. This is what I have heard. And even Elijah Sully and other guys, I think they jumped out in Rwanda. They had an argument of recent, and I followed that. And Elijah said it is written that if you have not done law in Liberia, you cannot practice law in Liberia. That is, you should first of all come from Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, and now the school that is established. And yeah, so what you were talking on the computer basic, myself, I had similar issue like that last semester. When I was doing my final in systematics, it became a problem for me. Not that the exam was hard, but we had a tree diagram because we were discussing the derived character and all of these things that the characteristics of those animals or species. You got to have a tree diagram for them. And I tried to do that, but I was not able to construct the tree correctly, and I was wasting my time on it. And again, I was coming from somewhere before getting home to do the exam. So the time was captured with me, and some of the questions that I could do better if I were just saying I was doing one piece of paper, I could do. I didn't do them later on because I was just striving to construct the primitive, the derived, the shared derived for me to construct that tree diagram was a serious problem for me on computer. So if we are a graduate student and we are still catching difficulty with this, then what becomes of the students that are still in the undergrad program? So it means that we need to make it compulsory. And a colleague of mine was just telling me that at the forestry department, the department chairman is making it now compulsory that each student should be able to bring computer to class. And I think it's appreciative that it happens that way. Because you should not come from bachelor degree, then tomorrow, if even you go to write your letter, like some of us when we're doing applications for those areas that we are doing small hustle, we have to write it with ink take it to a computer man to tap it. And it's a disgrace. So you as an undergraduate student or a graduate from any institution in Liberia, for now, you should be able to even tap your own letter, print it out, and go and hand it over or email it. I bet you ask some of our undergrad students around here, even some of the students around here, they are not able to send email. It's a disgrace. They're not able to do it. I can remember when I went to sit the graduate school test. Though I was not having much computer knowledge, I was able to navigate. But other people were there, they were sweating. They could not even handle the mouse to say click so and click so. No way. They had to call people to stay silent. So how disgraceful is that? So we have to work these things out and see how we can be able to handle professionalism to where it belongs. If you know that you are not university material, go to a vocational school. There where you will get your SAR. But everybody cannot go to university.
Yes, everybody can make it in the university, and that's why we, we want to create that awareness, because if somebody tells me I know I'm not good at law, I'm not good at doing anything in math, I don't want to do anything in math, and somebody tell me, my man, I go do money and geology, man, or they go do demographic, then I say, yeah, that go. My strength is not compared to that person's strength in that profession. So I should be able to think on my own and decide this is where I want to go, not to be engineered by a friend of mine or maybe a relative to go and do what they don't want to do. And these are things that people go through. At the end of the day, they get stuck to wheresoever they are in any institution. You see, they're struggling to even get a C. Mind you, if somebody went to college and continued to get C as a grade, if the person is graduating out of college, you know what the GPA they're coming out with? 1 point something, or maybe exact 2 point. And with those things, if you go to apply for a job with those kind of grades, they will not take you serious. So college is not meant for everybody. But if you can choose a career path that will put food on your table, at the end goal of somebody going to college is to make a better living. That is it. You could make that same better living if you choose a career path. You boss man. And one thing I see that I think Liberians need to start adapting to is that we've seen a lot of real estate owners around Liberia now. We're seeing a lot of that right now in Liberia. Who's this sending me a message? I'll look it up. We've seen a lot of it happening now in Liberia, but then they sent me a message and I lost my thought. Oh, okay. We've seen a lot of people, I call it real estate developers in Liberia. And you know what? If you can, go ahead and open your own establishment, you're making money right there. You did plumbing. You open your own business. You contract with them. You do all their plumbing work in their house. You do electrician. You open your own business, LLC, limited liability. You register your own name, your company function. You yourself contract with those people and electrify their houses. You know how much you will be making? You start to live, to make a living, honest living on your own. Then person who went to college, got his or her degree, still looking for a job. You went to your technical school, get your degree, get your certificate, you move on with life. So college is not meant for everybody. Frank and I hear you. I have some urgent issue to attend to.
So that's what I will recommend people that live in Sanikole and its environment to consider university primary and secondary school system. Even those who in Monserrado or area here, they could recommend people they have that because the goal of establishing that school is to make people ready for university. So the lapses we are having now in the classroom at the university level cannot be repeated. That when you are graduating, you have a clear career pathway. If you are to become electrician, you go straight to your electrical area. If you are to become agriculturalist, for example, we got BWR here. Some people come from there, they don't go to university again. If you are a machinist, you go straight, you go do your welding work in the various machine area. That's what people doing around here. So I would prefer people or recommend people that will want to go to school, send their children's school in Sunny College to go to university primary and secondary school because that I do have put in more resources and he has the manpower to be able to teach at that school to make our children ready for the future. We need to create a future we need now. If not, it will be late for us. For us, our own time is almost gone. For the children that we have, they are the ones now we need to build their capacity. For me, I said most of the time and think, I did not leave honor age and graduate from college or let me say high school. At least let my children be able to graduate at that level and they should be able to even double up many programs that I wish to go for and I did not make it. Let my children be able to practice that. That tomorrow I will say somewhere be a proud dad. So these are things that for me when I say a thing I can always our children nowadays, like what you were saying, when they take phone, they use a phone more than any other person. When they take computer, even computer now, the children striving to work on it more than we who were here today. So we need to empower them like that so they will be able to work hard and see our country develop.
Well, folks, that is it here tonight. It's been a very fruitful discussion, and God's willing, we will be on your airway Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, we have a Liberia July 26th celebration will be taking place Saturday, Sunday, so we'll go live. The program starts around 7 to 8 p.m. So we'll have our show and then we'll try to cover those events here as well. Saturday, our main day, career day, we'll be having some fruitful discussion here on those topics. So please don't go away. God's willing, we will see y'all. And thanks for your time here tonight. Thank you to my brother Franklin for joining me in the studio. We will continue to promote our river. That is our goal, to promote our river to the fullest. God's willing, see you next time. Thank you from my end. I want to say bye-bye to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.